We begin our meditation in the usual manner by closing our eyes, by going to our breath, and beginning to deepen our relaxation by carving out a space for us to just be still and to have this moment just for us. Just spend a few moments paying attention to your breath. And if you can, as you deepen into relaxation, see if you can deepen your breath. Filling your lungs with air and slowly releasing. And take a moment to do an inventory of your body. If there are any spots of tension, discomfort, just breathe into them and see if you can relax. If you find yourself distracted at any point in this meditation, just go back to your breath. Let that be the focus of your attention for a few breaths. And if thoughts or concerns enter your mind, just let them pass through. We can deal with that later. For now, we are focused on this moment. The inspiration for tonight's meditation came from two places. One, our church's puzzle exchange, and from a meditation I happened to listen to about dealing with anxiety. And in this meditation, the leader offered a wonderful metaphor that I found very fitting for when we are feeling scattered and anxious. And that is imagining a table full of puzzle pieces scattered all about. You can picture that in your mind, and even as you do that, you may feel that twinge of anxiety coming over you. Sometimes when we're anxious, we can't gather our thoughts. We feel like the puzzle pieces are all over the table, none of them even the right side up. Some are on the floor. And in our anxiety, we may rush to try to just grab pieces and force them together as a way to let go of that anxiety. But we all know that doesn't work that way. And so I invite you to imagine that there is a table in front of you with puzzle pieces on it. And that puzzle represents your mind. And so when we are anxious, instead of just trying to force fit the pieces or hurriedly cram them together, which we all know doesn't work with puzzles, I invite you to approach it just like you would putting a puzzle together. to start by finding the smoothed edge pieces and putting them together so that you form a frame. And so I invite you to take just a couple minutes in your mind to imagine that there is this puzzle before you. And as you breathe, you find those smoothed edge pieces, that they fit together neatly. And take just a couple moments to construct that frame. I invite you to imagine those boundaries of that frame as sort of a container to hold all those scattered thoughts. Those smooth edges around the outside and all those different shaped pieces focusing inside. When our thoughts are scattered or stressed, we can begin by sort of creating that frame, that outside boundary of the smooth pieces. Those pieces being those parts that we can easily access, those boundaries we know and are comfortable with, the pieces that we feel assured about and comfortable with. And continuing to focus on your breath, just spend a moment thinking about how good it feels just to have that piece of the puzzle done. To have constructed that boundary in which all the other pieces will fit. And imagine how good that feels to know that we can create that boundary for our scattered thoughts and feelings too. Now I invite you to focus on the inside of the puzzle. And as you begin to fit the pieces in, you may identify each piece representing something that you're thinking about or worried about, something that distracts you, something that you have a hard time keeping focused about. And don't draw your attention to it with your full focus, but just acknowledge what that piece represents as you fit it into the puzzle. As you do so, you notice that the pieces come together easily. Now I invite you to imagine that you have completed the puzzle and that it's before you there on the table. All the pieces there, every piece in its place. It feels good when things fit together. It feels good to have the focus to accomplish a task. That's part of the joy that puzzles offer us. It even feels good sometimes to have the distraction of that activity. But in our busy lives and our busy minds, when we are feeling overwhelmed, it's easy for us to feel like the pieces don't fit. Sometimes we wonder if we're working several different puzzles at one time, or if all the pieces are there. But just like working a puzzle requires focus, mindfulness, a slow pace and patience, so too does gathering our thoughts, recognizing our feelings, letting go of anxiety. It may be useful to use the puzzle as a metaphor for the way we organize our thoughts, to take a step back, to breathe, to gather our attention, and to begin by organizing first those things that come easy to us, those smooth edges, allowing those smooth edges to remind us that we have the capacity to do this work. And then we can begin to fit the other pieces in, recognizing where they go, seeing how they fit in the big picture. And when all is done, stepping back, recognizing what has been accomplished, and giving gratitude that it all fits. And so as we draw this time of meditation to a close, I invite you to mark this spot, knowing that you can return to it and to use this technique anytime it might be helpful. And then to go back to your breath and taking 3 deep breaths, begin to wake up your body. And when you are ready, open your eyes and return to this space.